Okay. Okay, I think we can get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our AIA 2026 Board of Directors Town Hall. My name is Carlo Cacavallo. I'm the Executive Director for the Los Angeles chapter of the AIA, and I have to admit that I have very mixed feelings about this evening. On one hand, I think it's very exciting to see so much enthusiasm for serving on the board, but on the other, I am genuinely sorry that some of the positions are contested because each of these candidates brings something extraordinary to the table. If we could, we find a way to fit everyone in, but we can't. But that's what makes this community so special, the depth of talent, generosity, and vision. So let's listen, engage, and be inspired by the people who want to help lead AILA into its next chapter. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce the moderators of this conversation, our 2025 President Chava Danielson, AIA, and our 2026 President Toni Lewis, AIA. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Carlo. So happy to be here, guys. I remember when I was on the other side of the table, but don't have to run this year. So tonight you'll hear from our nominees and get a sense of the ideas and priorities they want to bring forward. Each candidate will have 4 minutes, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. It's an exciting time for AIA LA. Over the past year, we've been meeting and hosting many programs and events in our Center for Communities in West Adams. It's a shared home with our nonprofit, Architecture for Communities Los Angeles, and it's already becoming a hub for collaboration and inspiration across the city.
It's also a good moment to note that our board members serve 2 to 3 year terms, depending on the position. The new leaders you elect tonight will play a pivotal role in shaping the future direction of the AIA Los Angeles at a very crucial time, I may add, alongside the current members who will continue to serve with them. Voting is open now at aialosangeles.org through Tuesday, November 11th at noon Pacific time. You'll find links in the chat to the ballot, to candidate bios, and platforms. And thank you to everyone who's already voted. Your voice really does matter.
Just a quick reminder, architect and associate members can vote for all positions, while only associates can vote for associate director. And voters do need to belong to the AIA Los Angeles chapter. Only eligible votes will be counted. Some seats have more than one candidate, others are uncontested, and will be decided by acclamation. And with that, let's welcome our first nominee.
All right. Running for 2026 Vice President and therefore 2027 President Elect, we have 2 candidates. First up, Michael Anderson, AIA, founding partner of Anderson Barker Architects. Take it away.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, I got to go first. Okay. Hi. Thank you, Chava. Hello, fellow board members of the AIA. I'm honored to stand before you as a candidate for Vice President of this extraordinary chapter. I'm running because I believe architects have a decisive role to play in shaping Los Angeles that is resilient, equitable, and forward-looking. And I want to help us lead that change. Our profession is uniquely positioned to tackle some of LA's most urgent challenges, from housing affordability to sustainable transit and climate resilience. Through my work at the Accelerated Housing and Transit Development Initiative, called AHTD, I've seen firsthand how architects can go beyond designing buildings to designing systems that restore communities, accelerate recovery after disasters, and create opportunities for families to thrive where they live. If elected Vice President, I will focus on 3 commitments: to support the President in strengthening our collective leadership. The Vice President's role is to amplify the President's vision and help steer AIA-LA's work with clarity and purpose. I'd like to expand our government outreach efforts. We must have a stronger voice in shaping policy and investment, so decisions around housing, transit, and infrastructure reflect design excellence and community needs. And then also championing funding and capital investments. Design can only go so far without resources that bring it to life. I will work to bridge the gap between great ideas and capital it takes to make Los Angeles a global model of self-sustaining communities. I think Los Angeles is at a crossroad where we're facing a housing crisis. As many of you know, we need 800,000 units of housing, rebuilding from disasters, and grappling the infrastructure that must evolve for the next generation of LA to be successful. Architects should not just react to these challenges, we should lead the way in solving them. Through partnerships with government, industry, and community leaders, I believe we can build places where housing and transit work together to create opportunity and a quality of life for everyone. I'm asking for your support, not just as a candidate for the vice president, but for the future of where AIALA stands as a trusted voice shaping this region's growth with integrity, vision, and action. Together, we can ensure architects are not just designing spaces, but helping designing a better Los Angeles for the future. So I want to thank you for considering me for this role. I would be honored to earn your vote and to serve this profession at this pivotal moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Next, also running for VP President-elect is Scott B. Hunter, FAIA, Lead AP, Partner and Regional Director of HKS.
Well, hi. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your day to listen to us chat. I want to echo Carlo's comments that it'd be great if everybody who has the energy and the wherewithal to want to volunteer for the chapter could play a role. Listening to Michael, he and I share a lot of similar ideas about how we transform the role of architects within the city of Los Angeles at this critical juncture. We all know it. The city's in a really tricky spot. And, all the things that we talked about, the housing crisis, the affordability gap, mobility challenges, the lack of public open space, all of that grounded within a public policy that really makes it challenging to get big ideas done. And, we craft visions for our clients every day on a project by project basis. If elected vice president and president in the year following, I'd put a lot of energy into thinking about how we start reshaping our focus on the city as a whole and treat that as a design problem. And I have some interesting ideas I wanted to share with you about what we might do to do that, because we know that the hurdles are pretty great. But if we don't act, the state of California will enact legislation that will override all the zoning, and we'll have builder remedies happening all over the city. And there will be no real clear vision about what kind of city we want to have in the future. So one of the kind of main things I'd like to really focus on is use the platform of the AIA to sponsor an ideas competition that could go out internationally and to bring amazing ideas to the table that grapple with this. We've done this in the past. LA has been a hotbed of innovative creativity, for the last century. We seem to have kind of forgotten how to do that as a city. I've worked internationally all over the world, and I see how other cities are able to kind of make things happen. And I come back home and I wonder, why is it not happening?
AIA,
Why can't we make things happen here?
people running for office.
I agree with Jefferson. Whatever he said, I'm with him on that. So that would be
We don't
one
really have
kind
a
of
lot of
main thing.
leftovers.
Maybe we
don't have a lot
maybe
of
mute
leftovers.
Jefferson by chance. Oh, there he is. Thank you, Jefferson. So we've talked a lot about the role of the AIA as a platform for civic leadership. And I think architects can step forward and do what we do best, which is create visions for what could be. And I think too often where we stand right now, we're sort of in a reactionary or a victimized mode as a profession. And I think it's time we change that. I think we step forward and we put forward our vision of where we think this city needs to go. And we lobby aggressively with political leaders and bring them on board. And I think Michael's right. The capital, we don't provide the capital, but we have to kind of grease the skids to make it as easy as possible for the city to do what it needs to do. And right now, it really is not doing what it needs to do. The other thing is building on the power of the new AIA home in West Adams as a center for engagement with the community. I think we can expand on what the great work that the chapter has been doing in hosting salons that deal with the most pressing issues that we face as a city. So all of that kind of rolls up into shifting the paradigm of what architects do into civic leaders. And I think that's something that it's going to take all of us. And I think it's obviously a huge challenge, but I'm inspired by that. I'm motivated by that. I know we can do better. And I just want to take the chance that we can, when all eyes are on our city, with all the things happening with the Olympics and Super Bowl and this and that. And then when everybody goes home, what do we have left after that that we can really hold out as our legacy? And that's what motivates and inspires me. And, I'd love to work with the team here at the AIA and the full board to do something that we feel really great about and that sets something in motion for future generations of our city. So appreciate your support and look forward to working with everybody, and thank you.
Right. Thank you, Scott. So those are the two for President-elect and VP President-elect. And next we have running for Secretary, Partner Director of Design at Practice LA, Greg Kochanowski, AIA.
I will tend to go on at length, so I wrote something down just to keep me on track here. It's really great to be with all of you here tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all and to hear all of your various ideas and platforms. Already there just seems to be a ton of alignment. I'm Greg Kochanowski. I'm an architect, landscape designer, educator, and as Javi said, I'm partner and director of design at Practice. We're a mission-based firm focusing on affordable housing, K-4 education, and civic infrastructure and public realm projects. My particular philosophy and methodology is to really seek to integrate architecture, landscape, and urbanism to bring holistic thinking to address the urgent challenges facing our region, meaning sort of climate adaptation, equity, and civic transformation. I'm running for secretary because I believe that effective governance, clear, transparent, and accountable is foundational to how AIA-LA leads and how we serve the city. Over the years, I've worked with the chapter in various capacities, most recently as co-chair of the AIA LA Wildfire Recovery Task Force, where Mohammed and I, along with Will, Java, Tony, and Carlo, have brought together architects, public agencies, and community partners to support recovery and policy alignment towards long-term resilience planning after this year's fire. I've also served as the co-president of the LA Forum and founded a nonprofit called The Wild, which is based on researching wildfire climate and peri-urban environments here in LA. All these roles have deepened my belief that we need to align values with systems and that governance is cultural as much as it's procedural. It's how we build trust, invite participation, and make meaningful change possible. Los Angeles faces crises that no single actor or discipline can solve. Climate risk, inequitable housing policies, a public realm that too often fails people, and underinvestment in civic infrastructure. And progress requires collective action, aligning various disciplines, communities, and institutions towards shared outcomes. So it's this working across aisles, across disciplinary aisles, across governing aisles that brings out a kind of a holistic practice, sort of braiding design leadership, governance, and stewardship so that our chapter delivers durable city-scale change and a culture of trust that invites broad, sustained participation. To help with that vision, I will support making sure our bylaws, policies, and procedures reflect the kind of organization we want to be, efficient, inclusive, and responsive, and equipped to lead in today's complex civic landscape. I believe the secretary role is not only about record keeping, although that's pretty important, but about setting the tone of clarity, precision, and accountability across the board's work. I bring that sensibility to every role I take and here in the office as well. If elected, I would approach this position with discipline, humility, and a deep commitment to equity and professional responsibility. I would be honored to help steward the chapter systems and conversations and to support everyone in building a more resilient, just, and imaginative future for LA. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Greg. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Greg. Moving to the position of board director, there are 4 candidates running for 2 open positions, serving for 3 years. First up, we have Michael Chang, AIA, Managing Principal of AC Martin.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I must admit, I'm very nervous. Well, so I want to begin by acknowledging the many talented candidates here today. It's inspiring to see such dedication to our profession and honor to be process. To rise to the occasion to serve, to represent the voices that make the technical community. I myself I'm Michael Chang. I'm a native Los Angelino, principal here at AC Martin, a firm that has grown with LA since 1906. Our work has shaped the city's identity. I feel personally responsible to reinsert AC Martin's presence and leadership into the evolving dialogue around architecture and design in LA. The city has always been a place for experimentation and reinvention. Like I tell all my principals at AC Martin, and within our profession, we must continue to rise to meet that legacy. Throughout my career, I've been involved in several professional organizations, always with the goal of supporting others and helping the profession grow. Whether through mentorship, advocacy, or just showing up to listen, I've always tried to use every position I've had to support something bigger than just myself. We're in a profession that's under deep pressure. Expectation keeps rising of our faster tech timelines, broader scope, higher fees. And yet our value are too often questioned and misunderstood. We find ourselves doing more, looking at the real problems and trying to figure that within the built environment, but not always being recognized for our innovative solutions. This isn't about reclaiming past prestige, but redefining how architects serve. Is about reinforcing what we bring, our judgment, insight, and civic purpose. If elected, I want to ensure that the architect's voice is always present, and I want to make sure AIA LA is a platform to help us lead those conversations, not just follow them. I recognize the power and responsibility this position holds. I've never taken a role just for the title. I've always wanted to live up to its potential. If elected, you have my full commitment to the position and making sure that we keep this profession moving forward. So thank you, and I hope I've earned some votes today, and then I continue to earn that support in the future.
Thank you, Michael. That was great. And I see that some more people have shown up in the audience, and I just want to say this is being recorded. And so if you missed the first couple of statements, or are there any statements you want to go back and re-listen to, it's going to be available on the website. So, which is a great opportunity. Here I am. Thanks, Michael. Next up, we're going to hear from Mandy Roberts, AIA Design Principal at HMC Architects. Mandy, you're muted. So I'm afraid you need to start over. Second time's a charm.
Sorry, everyone. Okay, let me start again. Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for joining. I'm Mandy Roberts, a design principal at HMC Architects. And at HMC, our mission is to design for good and to design for our community. I'm a California native and have spent the last 2 decades working here in Los Angeles, designing spaces that bring people together, whether that's schools, universities, or cultural buildings, all the work to strengthen our community. And the idea of building connection through design has been at the heart of my work, and that's what has brought me here today. I first got involved with the AIA, I can't believe it's been over 20 years ago, volunteering as a young designer for the Design Awards Committee, really because I wanted to know how do awards programs work. And what I found through that service was so much more, a community that I built over 20 years through that service of just talented architects who shared their time, ideas, and support. And through that experience, I built lasting friendships and a strong professional network. And that's what inspires me to serve, really, and to be here today is to continue to build that community for our city. Over the past few years, I've talked with a lot of emerging architects, and there's a common theme I've been hearing. I know we have a really strong emerging professionals group, but I know that there's more we could have into our fold and that we could bring in. And that some younger folks are wanting ways to find mentors, to navigate licensure, to feel connected and engaged. And that's what has brought me to run for the board, to help make sure that architects at all levels feel supported, connected, and inspired. I've been fortunate to serve our design community through the years in a few different roles. Serving on the Design Awards Committee led to chairing that a few years back, which was a great experience. And a few years back, I also co-chaired a conference for AIA Committee on Design with a focus on habitation in Los Angeles. It was a 4-day event with 100 architects, and we toured them around our city, showcasing all the fabulous work we have that had been done over the last century. And I've never been so proud of the work our community has built to date. I've also been fortunate to serve as a board member, similar to Greg, for the LA Forum for Architecture and Urban Design. I focused during my time on the board on fundraising and also serving on the executive committee. Each of these experiences showed me how powerful our community can be when we come together across firms, disciplines, and generations to share ideas that lift each other up. If elected, I'd like to focus on the membership committee, focusing on new ways to strengthen our connections. And that means strengthening architects at every stage of their journey, from students and emerging professionals to firm leaders. One idea I'd like to bring forward is an Emerging Voices series, something we could set up to pair emerging architects with experienced members. Maybe that could be hosting in our new space, some kind of salons to have engagement and conversations, or featuring lectures and panels featuring works of the emerging generation of architects in our city. Programs like that can help ensure that AIA LA remains vibrant, inclusive, and relevant for everyone. I'm truly honored to be here today and to be considered for a director role in one of the best chapters in the country. And I would love the opportunity to work along all of you to kind of help strengthen our community. So I look forward to your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. I'm only going to take issue with one of the things you said, because you said we were one of the best chapters.
Oh, excuse me, the best chapter.
There we go. That's better. Okay, well, thanks a lot for that. That's great. Next up is William Robertson, AIA, Lead AP, President and CEO of Design Build Labs.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is William Robertson. Every day in Los Angeles, architects are asked to solve the impossible. We're asked to solve a housing crisis with a permitting system that seems designed to prevent housing. We're asked to create vibrant communities in a city of tremendous distance. We're asked to prove the value of our work with one hand tied behind our back. If you've ever felt like your voice isn't being heard by the city, by a client, or even within our own industry, you're not alone. I believe this shared struggle isn't a coincidence. It's the result of a system built on outdated approaches where the insights of architects and the needs of our communities are often the last to be heard, not the first. My vision for this board is called Design Democracy. It's a plan to move our chapter from a position of frustration to one of collective action. It's about harnessing our shared wisdom to fix the very systems that hold us all back, and reclaiming our role as essential leaders in shaping the future of Los Angeles. Design Democracy is a leadership philosophy built on 3 core principles. First, enterprise-level empathy. This means moving beyond our own assumptions to truly understand the needs of our clients and our communities. It means building a chapter that listens to its members, from the sole practitioner to the large firm principal, and acts on what it hears. Second, a Moneyball for buildings approach to advocacy. For too long, we've argued for the value of our work with passion alone. It's time we argued with data. We must prove the measurable economic and social return on investment that great design delivers to our city. And third, the courage to confront fear. This is the courage to challenge the inefficient systems that hold us all back, and to build a more resilient and future-ready profession together. This philosophy is not just a theory, it's a plan of action. As a board member, I will champion 3 key initiatives. First, the Design Democracy Community Incubator. This program will partner AIA Los Angeles firms with local nonprofits to tackle real-world challenges. The AIA will provide the framework and the tools for this inclusive design process, allowing our members to upskill while delivering tangible value to our communities. We will design with Los Angeles, not just for it. Second, the Permitting Reform Strike Team. We all know the permitting process is broken. Instead of just complaining, we will build a data-driven task force to quantify the staggering costs of these delays. We will go to the city not with anecdotes, but with an irrefutable evidence-based case for specific targeted reforms that will unstick our projects and help solve our housing crisis. And third, the Future Ready Firm mentorship program. This initiative will connect emerging professionals with established leaders to focus on the business of architecture. The curriculum will be grounded in the principles of teaching the next generation how to build consensus, leverage technology, and demonstrate the powerful return on investment of their work. This is my vision, an AIA Los Angeles that is an indispensable partner in the future of our city, an AIA that equips its members not just to survive, but to lead. The challenges we face are immense, but I believe the collective power and wisdom of this community. It's time we stopped fighting alone. It's time we got back in the ring together. My name is William Robertson. I'm asking for your vote. Let's build a more democratic and more powerful AIA for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, William. Also running for director, I want to welcome Severine Tatangelo. I hope.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. You did it perfectly.
International
pronunciation.
Thank you. International Associate, AIA, and founder of Studio PCH.
Thank you, Chava. Hearing from all of you now gets me actually all excited because I feel like we do have the same vision, at all different levels. So my name is Severine Tatangelo. I'm the principal of Studio PCH. I've also been serving as the chair of the AIA intercommittees for the past couple of years. I've been in LA for actually 20 years. I actually did my whole career in LA. So I feel like, if anything, my career as an architect has been really forged in LA. So it's a great honor tonight to be here as a candidate for the board of directors. I run a firm of about 20, 25 people. We do architecture and interior design, and mostly residential and hospitality work. And when I founded this studio, it was really with a commitment to excellence, detail, culture, and very much a dialogue between architecture, interior design, and art. And I really want to carry that also into the A program. Over the past 2 years, I've been a member, so the chair of the interior committee, and my main focus has been to really reinforce the bonds between our profession and the wider cultural community of Los Angeles. And through many events, I think we actually were able to successfully create bonds between the LACMA, between the Mac Center and the Schindler House. And I really want to extend this dialogue between and increase attendance and share ideas with all these cultural institutions. So I will say, as a director, I will want to really carry this spirit of collaboration across the full scope of the AIA. And my 3 priorities would be: 1, really expanding the partnership with the cultural institutions, because I feel like a lot of them actually don't know what the AIA is all about. And the bigger we are, the stronger we are as a team to be more heard. I also will want to elevate the student and emerging professional engagement. I have quite a few young architects or designers, just graduates, and they, like you were saying, Mandy, a lot of them actually are pretty lost after they graduate. And I think we need their engagement. They're the ones who actually have the energy to push things and move things around. I think we're here to help them. We're here to support them. But if we are not making them want to join us and understand what we do, because a lot of them, they just think it's just having a membership and helping them through their maybe licensing process, but they don't really understand what we do. And I really want to forge that and turn this into one of my strengths. And then obviously the third one would be ensuring that our programming reflects the diversity and the creativity of Los Angeles. So my goal is to help our profession thrive through openness and collaboration. And that's my first time running for a board position. It's been 2 years and pretty successful with the AIA committee with Carlo and the whole team. So I'm like, I feel very honored to be part of the team if I get elected. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Severine. For the office of AIA California Representative, we'd like to introduce Lisa Little, AIA founder and principal of Vertebrae.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy, overcommitted schedules. I know that is pretty much every architect's reality. I'm grateful for the opportunity to introduce myself and to discuss my platform for the California representative position for AIA LA. I'm principal of a very small firm, four-person firm called Vertebrae Art and Architecture that I founded in 2013. But I've been in Los Angeles for over 25 years, working first in the field of engineering, then as a graduate student at SCI-Arc, and now as a practicing architect. Vertebrae's office is in the Fashion District downtown, and we share an office space with two other small firms. I'm going to talk a lot about small firms, so I mentioned that because we work, we share this office as like part of the whole dilemma and situation of being a small firm. Vertebrae works in residential and commercial arena, mostly in Southern California, but with a few projects in Northern California. We've received AIA awards from both AIA LA and from California AIA. We also do large-scale public art projects and installations all along the West Coast, including in Oregon and Washington. I've been a licensed architect and a member of AIA LA for 15 years, and I've been teaching for about the same amount of time, first at Woodbury University and now for the last 13 years at USC, where I'm currently an adjunct associate professor teaching mainly graduate and undergraduate level design studios. With my many years in academia, my community contributions have focused on mentoring students, new and younger faculty, serving on academic committees, and participating in panels. But now I'm at a point in my career where I'm eager to engage more deeply with the broader Los Angeles community and help shape the conversation about the future of the AIA, both locally and at the state level. When I first considered running for this position, I asked myself what I might contribute to a board that is full of people with so many years of experience and who have made such significant and excellent contributions to the built environment in LA and beyond. Upon reflection, I decided I wanted to serve on AIA to represent the many architects who may not attend town halls or even vote, often because of time constraints or the feeling that as small firm owners, AIA offers little direct benefit at the city, state, or national level. There are so many talented small firms doing amazing work all across our city. We make up about 70% of the AIA LA membership, but I believe that too often our potential is overlooked, perhaps both within the AIA and certainly in the larger Los Angeles community. I believe there may be a greater and more mutually beneficial relationship between AIA LA and these many amazing small firms. And I've heard several of you talk about this tonight, so I'm very excited to hear all the different ideas about how there could be mentoring and other things that could speak directly to what I'm talking about. As a member of the AIA LA board, my goal will be to strengthen engagement with small firms by expanding public awareness of their contributions and increasing the value AIA LA provides. In return, I hope this will bring in new voices, ideas, and perspectives from a large pool of talented architects. I also want to better understand how AIA functions organizationally, professionally, and culturally. And then my hope is to draw on my firsthand experience of the challenges of running a small firm in Los Angeles, and I aim to serve as a conduit for identifying practical ways to increase small firm participation and ensure their voices and talents enrich AIA's work. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa. Finally, we have two candidates for ex officio associate director. This board member will also serve as vice chair for our emerging professionals committee. Our first nominee, I'm happy to introduce Esmeralda Aceituno, associate AIA.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and spending time with us. My name is Esmeralda Mia Aceituno, and I'm honored to be here tonight as a candidate for ex officio associate director. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles, and I'm a very proud first-generation Chicana designer. My story is shaped by community, mentorship, and persistence. I know what it's like to navigate this profession without a roadmap, to feel both inspired and overwhelmed, and to slowly build confidence through opportunities that others open for me. So that's the reason why I'm running for this position. I want to make sure those doors stay open and widen for the next generation of designers and architects. My path into architecture started at East LA College, close to my home, then carried me to the University of Southern California, where Lisa taught, and later to the Harvard Graduate School of Design for my Master of Architecture too. Each step was shaped by community, mentors, and a lot of persistence. Today, I'm part of Populous team working on the LA 28 Olympic and Paralympic Games, and I also teach at Pierce College as an adjunct faculty member, where I mentor students who remind me so much of myself at their stage of education. I also am very deep in the licensure process, having finished my AREs and hours, and now prepping for the California supplemental exams, so very deep in that preparation, which gives me a fresh personal perspective on what it actually takes to navigate this journey as a young designer. If elected, I see this role as a way to bridge education, practice, and advocacy in a way that reflects the diversity and complexity of Los Angeles. We're very much in a city that thrives on cultural layers, creative experimentation, and community leadership. Emerging professionals often face real gaps between access to mentorship, support through licensure, and meaningful representation in decision-making spaces. So my platform focuses on these three priorities. Firstly, strengthening mentorship pipelines so that associates can guidance at every stage of their journey, whether they're students, graduates, or transition to licensure. Secondly, improving access to professional development and licensure support, especially for those who don't have traditional firm structures behind them. And lastly, uplifting associate voices in leadership spaces so feedback turns tangible actions and not just good intentions behind decisions. I spent the last several years moving between education, practice, and community spaces. At Harvard, I helped build initiatives for first-generation students, creating Harvard's very first GSD, First Generation Student Association. At Populous, I collaborated across disciplines, navigating between architects, engineers, operators, and city agencies to make large projects like the LA 28 Olympics come to life. And in the classroom, I've seen how mentorship can shift a student's confidence and trajectory entirely. These experiences have taught me that meaningful change happens when you feel both invited and supported through spaces. Beyond these roles, I stay closely connected to the next generation of students through mentorship, through ACE mentoring and NOMAS. I currently am mentoring at my own low-income public high school that I attended, which has been tons of fun for me. As vice chair of the Emerging Professionals Committee, I would work to strengthen what's already here while opening new doors and providing new pathways for new incoming designers. This could mean peer mentorship networks between associates and newly licensed architects, targeted workshops for exam prep, and stronger outreach to community colleges and universities across the city of Los Angeles. More than anything, it's about building a culture of inclusion and care that mirrors the communities we come from. I believe this role is a bridge between the lived experiences of emerging professionals and the leadership shaping AIA LA's future, a bridge between cultural advocacy, and lastly, a bridge between education and practice that feels and ensures no one feels like they have to navigate this path alone. So thank you for your time and for creating the space like this town hall. I truly love this city, again, born and raised, and I hope to bring my passion and lived experience and commitment to mentorship to this role and to help cultivate the next generation of architects together. Thank you.
Thank you, Esmeralda. Next, we'll hear from Darnell Parker II, Associate AIA.
Hi, everyone. I'm Darnell Parker II. I'm an alum of Virginia Tech School of Architecture and Urban Design and the School of Public and International Affairs. This upcoming April, I'll also earn my MBA from Pepperdine Gracio Dio Business School. Additionally, I'm working on finishing my licensure exam, like many of my peers and colleagues. With a number of years of professional work experience here in Los Angeles, I currently serve as CEO of Global Youth Camp, AEP, an organization dedicated to exposing underrepresented youth to careers in architecture, engineering, and planning. I'm excited to be running for ex officio Associate Director of AIA LA, and I'm ready to bring fresh energy, inclusive leadership, and deep commitment to mentorship and outreach to this role. Some of the things I've done with AIA, I'm a part of the AIA Urban Design Committee. I've been heavily involved with Will on the Government Outreach Committee. I served as a delegate for our organization chapter at the national level in 2023. I attend several city leadership breakfasts. And then also I participated, or the organization that I'm CEO of, have participated in AC LA Design by Diversity. And then also in college, I was a part of, obviously, I wouldn't say obviously, but I was a part of AIA so AIA Student Organization. So I'm fully committed to AIA and love the organization. But let me dive a little deeper. I'm here because I believe emerging professionals should feel seen, supported, and empowered, not just entering the profession, but to lead it. My platform is directly aligned with AIA LA 2025-2028, my apologies, strategic plan, and focuses on 3 priorities. 1, empowering emerging professionals. 2, expand youth outreach and access. 3, foster inclusive intergenerational engagement. But let me expand on that. So for 1, I want to expand access to licensure support, study groups, mentorship, and peer-led programming that makes the path to licensure clearer and less isolating. This speaks to AIA LA's goal of developing future-ready leaders and supporting growth across all career stages. Number 2, we need to reach students before college, especially in underrepresented communities. I plan to grow partnerships that brings architecture, engineering, and planning into middle and high school spaces, virtually and locally. This helps build a diverse future pipeline and line with our shared goals of broadening participation. 3, we must bridge generational gaps with the profession. That means creating inclusive events and leadership opportunities that connect students, associates, and licensed professionals, ensuring all members feel inspired and valued. As a passionate advocate for licensure, collaboration, and community building, I'm committed to making AIA LA more accessible, relevant, and inspiring, especially for the next generation. If elected, I will be a strong voice, an active partner in making our profession more equitable, sustainable, and future-focused. Thank you. I'll be honored to have your support.
Thank you. I am unmuted. Thank you, Darnell, truly, and thanks to all of our nominees for taking the time, for coming here and presenting. As Carlos said, it's just wonderful to have so many really talented people committed to this. Now that we've heard from all the candidates, we are going to open the floor for your questions. And so those of you who consider themselves out in the audience, you can direct your question to a specific candidate or pose a general question for multiple nominees to the same position to answer. Please raise your hand and we'll call on you, or feel free to type your question into the chat if that's an easier way to access this. As a courtesy to all attendees and nominees, please keep your questions to 1 minute or less. And I would recommend that everybody who's not talking mute themselves, but remember to unmute. So I keep doing this. So thank you. Let's see what happens. And Steve has put the ballots and the bios and everything online. So those of you for whom this was a slam dunk, you can go ahead and vote. Thank you.
I'll kick it off with a question, but then everyone else has to follow up. I have a question. For those of you, some of you have been deeply involved with AIA in the past, and some of you are stepping up for not necessarily the first time, but maybe you've come to some breakfasts or you've done a little bit here or there, but you haven't really like run a committee or, you know, in a major way. I was like that too when I first joined the board. My question is, what's changed for you now? Why now? Why are we stepping up to AIA, LA? And you know, what do you see that turning into as your role in on the board goes forward? So anyone who wants to take that, I'm going to open it up to the candidates. Michael.
I was involved with the AIA. I was on the board of the AIA. God, as you get older, you forget. I think for 3 or 4 years before moving into Adams. And I've watched the AIA evolve to be more proactive in helping communities become better places. One of the things I admired when they moved into Adams District was how the outreach was done to the community in terms of letting the community know what the AI was about and having a facility open to serve the community. So I was attracted to that. Also, I just saw how effective they become through the government outreach. Will Wright is my super government hero, and he's a major advocate. And so just watching him, and then also just watching Carlos' leadership since, gosh, I hate to think about this. It's been a couple of decades. I'll leave it at 2, but it's really longer. But it's done an amazing thing with the organization. And I think where the AIA is right now is an important place in terms of making change. I've admired the way they brought the younger generation into it. Esmeralda, I'm going to say I loved your story. And it has gone from the old men running something to being an organization that's so diverse and reflective of what LA looks like. And I think that makes me proud to want to be a part of the organization again. I love the presence, don't take this wrong, of the power of the women that have come up and spoken up and made change. I think it's a greater place because of that. And so, yeah, I'd like to ride in the car again if it's okay. So I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Michael, do you want to? I see your hand. Do you want to answer that question too?
Yeah, so I'll go next. So I have been involved with DALA as the professional practice chair for the last 3 years. And over the last few years, I have been board members in multiple other organizations where, you know, I would say those were training sessions to be able to better grasp what I could do within the AIA kind of board. In particular, what has triggered this is I've been recently promoted into kind of this managing principal position at my firm, and I've been grappling with issues that go beyond what I could do within my firm. And I see the area LA as a platform to be able to tackle issues that are much bigger, like, you know, once again, compensation, for instance, right? Where it just goes beyond what I could do within my firm. So that has been more of the reason why it's driving me to find a better way to deal with some of these issues that all of us grapple with on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you for that. I'm going to go to Scott Hunter.
Great. Can you hear me? Now, how do I drop my hand? I'll lower my hand. Yes, I was on the board of the AIA as a representative of the California Council for a 2-year term a couple of years back. And really, it was quite illuminating when you look at the nature of our profession across the state, and then you look at the power and influence that LA can have within the profession in California. I mean, some of the chapters in California have 3, 4 members, and here we have 2 to 3,000 members in LA. And I learned a lot about the
4,500. We have
4,500. Thank you,
4,500
thank you,
members.
thank you, thank you. Right. That includes associates, right, as well,
It
right?
does. Yeah, it
Associate
does.
members. And I learned a lot about the nature of the organization and how it works. And then, like others here, I shifted my focus and I joined a lot of other boards. I was one of the board of directors of the West Side Urban Forum, which I thought was a really interesting public advocacy type chassis that talked about big, broad issues. And then when it came time to really take a stand, they backed away and said, "Well, we can't take a stand because it's not in the nature of our purview." And then I've been on the board of the LA Chamber of Commerce, director there, where I'm the one of the few architects in the room, and it's made me realize how kind of in some ways marginalized we can become as a profession. And that's why I really feel passionately that we need to reengage at a civic level in some ways. And I know we do a lot of that, so don't get me wrong, but I think that we need to really demand a seat at the table at a high level about where decisions are being made, et cetera. And the inclusivity part, the vast majority of our profession are like many of you. I've worked in tiny little firms early on in my career where 2 or 3 people, and that makes up a huge percentage of what our whole industry is all about. So it's very important that you bring all of that together and find a way to enhance our influence, which a lot of us are saying together on the panel here today. We all see the need. We all want to do that. And I'm just inspired in some ways, through frustration. When I look across LA and I read all the stories in the LA Times, developers aren't building here because it's too hard to get anything done. Companies are leaving California because the climate is not right. And then we have these massive disasters. I just was driving through the burn area in the Palisades this weekend. I hadn't been. I avoided it. I was so scared to go there. It didn't feel right. I didn't want to gawk. But there's maybe 20 houses that are getting built there, but they're just single family homes. And you see what's happening in Sacramento. Scott Wiener and the like would love to do away with all single family home zoning in California. And if we don't step up and offer an alternative vision, we'll get steamrolled. And I'm really concerned about that. And I think we have a really vital role to play. So that's why for me, now is a very important time.
Thank you. Let's go to Darnell. Darnell, I know you've been deeply involved, but I'll take the question nonetheless.
Toni, thank you for proposing the question. I really do appreciate it. Yes, I have definitely been deeply involved. It goes all the way back to being a student in AIS back at Virginia Tech. But as I migrated towards the West Coast and the working profession, it was an honor to be a part of AIA LA on a number of events and committees. But the most memorable one I would say is just being able to interact with youth from Design by Diversity that they have annually through your foundation, ACLA. On a national level, it was great to represent my chapter that I'm loyal to here at AIA LA, to be a delegate, to vote on our behalf as an associate, to represent our organization and vote for the elected official on a national level. So that was quite an honor to be able to do that. And it was a process. Moving forward, I will say that I'm excited about the organization because of the strategic plans. Like, for example, this whole strategic pillar, the core values. Like, I'm loving this, when I dive a little deeper, really understand how we want to move forward. considering the Olympics and everything else, like the core values aligns with my vision and my passion and how I would like to kind of move forward and embrace that. Given the opportunity to be in this particular role, it talks about value, impact, inspiration, inclusion, advocacy, working with Will and being an advocate in the community with the government officials and things like that. That was a great experience. And then I like to digress and talk a little bit about the key themes, some of the key things that you all highlight in this strategic plan. And it talks about elevating architecture, you know, the value of architecture. I love the fact that it talks about engaging with external events. And then the last thing is really, I think the bones of it is strengthening community engagement. So moving forward, I'm hoping that we really kind of implement this. I think that's what I'm excited about, implementation now. Now that we have a rubric, now that we have something written down, we can move forward with our plan and actually implement it. Thank you.
Thanks, Darnell. And I'm going to just remind everyone the question is, why now? Why AIA now? What caused you to finally pull yourself out of your shell, step up, volunteer your time to AIA? I'll go with Esmeralda, who I think you've done a bunch of AIA stuff already, but I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so I have done a lot of AIA college like level stuff. And so for me, the shift into the professional side of AIA comes from wanting to move from participating in conversations like this to ultimately shaping them. And so just super briefly, I've spent years mentoring students, supporting peers through architectural journey and licensure, and working with organizations at the college level like ACE, NOMA, and AIAS. But what's changed is the ability to feel ready to bring that same energy and perspective into this leadership space of AIA. A big part of this comes from people who inspired me along the way. During graduate school, I had the privilege amazing people like Brian Seeley Jr., the current NOMA president, and ultimately instilling the fact of design as a form of cultural resistance and civic power, which has pushed forward my existing beliefs in the fact that leadership isn't just about holding using those positions to push for equity, representation, systemic change. And so ultimately, I hope that this is moved forward in different worlds and communities, education and practice, and stepping up to the board is about bridging those spaces for me. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Esmeralda. Severine.
I think on mine it will be on like three maybe different levels. The first one is I'm coming from a totally different world. I've been like doing my whole career here in LA, work for developers and really more in the private like sector. This past year with the AA interior committee, it's been definitely it has opened my eyes to like what's really happening in LA within our community. So I really want to be like more part of it. I also have a lot of energy, and I'm a doer. I like to push, I like to do things. I think I do not take no for an answer. And I think this has helped us over the past, few months, even on like some of our events or like things that we've done within our like committee to move things forward. So that's one of the elements that has pushed me to like use my energy in another sector and other, I would say like discipline. If I would say like discipline, the other part is the fact that I think being even with like all of you guys and talking about like how to shape like the future of LA, I think it's giving hope and it's inspiring. And I think being able to share ideas and see how we can make our world better, especially like world nowadays, actually is helping us on a like daily basis, and just being able to share that with everyone. And then the third part would be maybe like the legacy. As you get older, obviously like you think more about what you've accomplished and what you want to change, and how you want to like help the younger generation to also like shape like a better future, better architecture and a better like urban community. So I would say like these like three elements all together have pushed me like over the past like few months to take the step and to say like let's do this.
Let's do this. Thanks. And let's go to William.
Thank you very much. So, I'm getting more deeply involved now because I have more time. Quite honestly, for 25 years, one of my volunteer roles was interviewing kids from Southern California that were applying to Cornell University, my alma mater. And so, doing portfolio reviews for them here as part of their application process was sort of part of building the profession, making great schools like that accessible to people from Southern California. And so that was a real honor to do that. The school has decided that they're not doing alumni interviews anymore for the School of Architecture, Art, and Planning or any of the colleges there because there's 75,000 people per year that are applying to that school. So there's just no way to have enough alumni. I've also had a fundraising role with school, and I'm now part of the Cornell Council. And I think that, for me, it's, expanding that role parallel with this is, expanding two very important columns of fighting for truth, justice, and fairness, which is to empower the great American university and also to empower our profession in parallel. And so fighting for those things with education and design, is part of, the next couple of decades of my focus. So that's why I'm leaning in.
Thanks. I'm going to open it up to other questions or throw it back to Carlo or Carla, or Carlo or Chava or Will or Steve.
I like that, Carla. We're just one person.
What did I say? Carva? I like that.
Carla.
Works.
Carboni.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know how to raise my hand still on Zoom. So I'm going to, but I wanted to actually answer your question too, Toni. I didn't think much about LA when I moved to LA and I graduated. I mean, AIA when I got out of grad school at UCLA, and was really focused on being an architect and starting a young family and all of that. And even up until as I started getting more, I've been here since '97. I started getting involved a little bit, but didn't really commit. I was kind of into my own thing, and I was kind of, teaching and doing other stuff, and it was very kind of insular. And then when we lost our home in 18, my whole career and mindset shifted to really understand the power of collective action and the role that we can have as architects to really help people and help make this world a better place. And so, that's when I got involved in the forum. I thought, okay, I could get in this, and happened to be during COVID, so we didn't do all that much except raise a lot of money, and then and started getting involved with some local groups in Malibu, et cetera, about resiliency and some community-based programming there, and actually even then changed jobs to join a firm that is actually more aligned with trying to make, really make positive change and sees architecture as a kind of a mission for really bettering the city and bettering the lives of everybody here. And it was just an honor to sit on the wildfire task force with all of you. But I think that was just, it's also seeing AIA start aligning with a lot of those values. I think ACLA is a major accomplishment, and it's a major message out to the city that the organization is kind of putting its efforts where it's needed and really making a commitment to positive change here in the city. And so I've been very inspired by what AIA has been doing. This chapter has been doing over the past few years, and really the great people, and as everybody has said, the diverse group of its leadership here has really now represented Los Angeles, and I think it's super exciting, and it's a really critical time. And anyway, just wanted to chime in there. Thanks.
Well, maybe I'll just answer the question too, since everyone else has answered the question. And I think maybe the question applies to me maybe more than anyone else in this entire audience here. But I think when you're running I mean, I've been treading water trying to keep my firm alive for the last 12 years. That's what I've been doing. That's all I've had time to do, right? Like it's just really difficult. That's why I keep talking about mentoring and thinking about how to help younger firms, smaller firms, because it is so difficult to run your own firm. I think everyone here knows that. And, how can we help? Because if the more help you get, then the more you can join AIA or participate in whatever way you want to participate in the community. And if you're just barely holding it all together, you don't have the time to do that, basically. So, and I also would add that I think having the new building, the new space, the physical space, it seems fabulous, the location of it, where it is relative to this large spread out city. And I'm really excited that that's now the case. And I personally think that's helping people take notice about what AIA LA is doing.
I don't have a question for you all, but I just want to share some thoughts. Michael mentioned that I've been, here for over 2 decades, which is true. And I've seen over 2 decades worth of rotating board of directors. And to each of a new board member, I always say the same thing, that this is an amazing place to really make meaningful changes. It doesn't really might not look like that, what changes can AIA make? But it's really incredible, the depth of the opportunities that we have here. And the opportunities basically are equal to what you guys bring to it. And the way you are going to, I always encourage everybody at the beginning, at the end of their tenure as presidents or as directors or whatever your role is, to really, evaluate what have I achieved and how much satisfaction they get from being at the leadership of AIA Los Angeles. As Toni mentioned, we have 4,500 members. It's a pretty big responsibility. It's a wonderful also. With that comes also the opportunity to really be instrumental in making a big difference within the profession, within the city, and within the chapter, because ultimately the boards rotate, but the chapter stays as an institution. This chapter was founded in 1926, I think. It's almost 100 years old. This chapter will probably, hopefully, survive us all, right? So this is the opportunity for all of us, and you in particular, because you're going to be the leader, to kind of like determine how this chapter is going to flourish in the years to come. And the fact that we have a new amazing space is just another opportunity to really make sure that the chapter as a whole has a bigger footprint within the life of the city, and can really be a place for more ideas and more solutions. And God knows, we have so much to discuss and so many solutions to put forward. Those are my 2 cents. Thank you very much.
1903, Carlo.
1903. Yeah.
19.
So 1903, that was like southern. It was not Los Angeles. It actually not even 1926 was Los Angeles. It was the Southern California. It kept getting narrow and narrow. LA was incorporated in 1973 or 74, but it was created in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Southern California chapter was created in Los Angeles.
Crazy. Well, I think Toni asked a really good question, and it allowed a lot of people to expand on their thoughts and on their platforms.
Carla, can I add one thing though? So
Please.
these are some of this. You're running for contest. Some of you are running for contested positions. So again, in the spirit of what I was just mentioning before, don't make the board of directors the end game of your participation to the chapter. We have 14 really, really strong committees that need supports of leaders. Committees are incredible vehicle for change making. I mean, this is where the change actually comes. They are the engine. Without committees, AIA Los Angeles, it's pretty much nothing. So if you, by any chance, do not happen to make the cut this year, I would invite you to consider one of those committees. Call me and let me, and discuss with me what will you be interested in participating in, and you can definitely find a place where you can still make a lot of meaningful changes and lead the conversation of the chapter.
Right. That's really true. Okay, wait, I have one more thing to add because you brought up history. I did this research when it was my turn to talk. I am the AIA Los Angeles's 111th president. I was also the 12th woman, so that was a factoid I dropped last year. No, I really do want to emphasize what Carlo has to say because I've been on the board for quite a while now, and next year will be my last year, and committees are where it's at. It really is where you can make change. And we had plans when I ascended to the presidency, and on January 1st and on January 7th, the city burned up and everything changed. And we rolled up our sleeves and formed a wildfire task force. We've been effective, and we will continue to be effective. And it's like a steering committee of 4 and a larger committee of a bunch of people. And we've had webinars in, educating architects in all of a sudden needing to understand how to build resiliently where they hadn't had to do it before. And we had webinars with 800 attendees on a Zoom. So I just want to say, you never know. And there are ongoing ways to be involved and to work together because we are an incredible bunch. I'm very grateful to be part of this.
Okay.
Do we want to excuse people early? Yes.
Yeah.
Go get a drink.
Sure. If nobody else has any question, comments, we were scheduled to run until 6:30. It's 6:17. We can give you 13 minutes back, which are a lot. It's a lot of time these days. If okay with everybody.
Time
Please
is
tell your
money,
friends.
Carlo.
Time is money.
Time is
I know.
money.
Tell your friends to vote for you, for others. Tell your friends to participate and have to be in the life of the chapter. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
all.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you,
so
everyone.
much.
Thanks so much
Thank
to
you.
Bye.
everyone.
You.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.